even though Baker Mayfield's in there, he's pretty obviously not 100%, and Baker's drives just kept stalling. And late in this game, they trail 15-10. They're getting down near field goal range. Baker actually hits a throw, and then wide receiver is stripped. TJ Watt comes up with it. The drive fails. And then you get the football back, and you have a 4th and 12, and it goes through the hands of Jarvis Landry. And it's like all of these things, if you could just drive into the red zone, kick a field goal, then you only need a field goal because you're only down 2 after that, but instead you need a touchdown. And it just became kind of this avalanche of problems for the Browns. And look, I think that the Steelers' defense is good and deserves credit. And I have been a defender of Baker Mayfield this season. The game against the Chargers, he throws for over 300 yards. He puts up 40-plus points. It's not the day to crush Baker. And I know he's not 100%, but it's his non-throwing shoulder, and yesterday is gruesome. That's a home game in the division against a limited team that ultimately loses its field goal kicker, and you can't muster more than 10 points. You can't muster more than 10 points. And if you are a Browns fan, is the season over? No. It's still relatively early. You can still accomplish what you want to accomplish. You're 500, 4-4, midway point. Now, 9-8 might not make the playoffs. 8-9 certainly won't. So you've got to have a plus 500 plus second half of the season. But it just felt like this is the type of Browns season that they're just, frankly, not good enough. And the Steelers are limited, and you're at home, and you just have to find a way to win that game. Our friend Dustin Fox from 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland tweeted something that I thought was pretty insightful. Dustin Fox, who covers the Browns, said, "Game over, and feels like the season is over." And there was a part of yesterday it wasn't that this was the end of the year. It was that this is all we can expect from the Browns this year. That they are so kind of like missing, not clicking on all cylinders, and that Baker's kind of regressed such a great deal that this is kind of who they are. And the killer part of this is, would the Browns have won yesterday's game if Case Keenum plays? I mean, I don't know if Case is that much of a better option than Baker Mayfield, but, it's hard to say it'd be worse. Like, the Browns put up 10 points. Put up 10 points. Baker didn't throw a touchdown pass. This just feels to me to be a season, and I think most Browns fans would probably agree, it's a season of nowhere. It might end up being 9-8. You might play in a game in mid-December, late December, around New Year's, where you're like, okay, if we win our final 2 games and we get some help, we can squeeze into the playoffs. But ultimately, it's going to fall short. It just feels like this year ends with the Browns, losing week 18 to fall to 8-9, and kind of the last 2 weeks of the season is what happened to us. Why didn't we put this thing together? That's what this season feels like. And there's going to be a tough decision on Baker Mayfield. Again, he's gutting through the shoulder injury on his non-throwing shoulder, but that's a tough decision to make because you are now going to have to pay Baker good cash to be an quarterback simply because you don't want to have to go find another quarterback. Yesterday, Odell Beckham, 1 target in the game. Yikes.